How we serve cocktails? Well, many people now are very specific about how they want the drink served. So they'll say, well, I like a mojito, but I'd like it with extra X or Y. So we would make it to a standard recipe and then tailor it any way you want. You know, so you can personalise your drink any way you want. Well, I mean, initially we obviously started with plastic straws, 2 straws in every drink, because that's what looked like a good serve. But as times went by, we realised, in fact, a member of my staff once came in and showed me a video about the damage that straws were doing to the oceans and to fish. And I said, right, okay, we've got to get rid of this. We've got to do something about it. And it's a simple little thing, but we use several hundred thousands of them a year. So if every bar uses several hundred thousand, or in every restaurant, I mean, it's billions of straws that are going into the sea, that are damaging wildlife. And just that awareness from a member of your own people, a young person saying to me, look, what can you do? I said, well, we've got to change as quick as we can to, firstly, let's just tell customers, there's a straw if you want one, rather than force them to on them, but we've got to get biodegradable. You know, and then once they're biodegradable, we can, we can give them the straw if they want one, or we can give them 2 if they want one. So, we eventually, it took us a while to try and find products that actually suited the market, you know.
A lot of people still want a straw, and a lot of bars have just taken them out altogether, whereas I think this is a good I don't think that we should totally ban the idea of a straw. So this is a better way to do it. We'll use less of them. They cost a little bit more, but we'll use less, and I just think it adds to people's awareness of it, that real life places like bars, are taking such a massive interest in it.
They're mostly from, I think, carton drinks. You know the cartons that come, they all fall down to the bottom. There's one there, a blue one, down there. And 2 white ones, but they don't show very well.
They tend to bunch together on certain parts of the beach, whether that's because that's where they were discarded and they've just buried down straight away. But one thing I've discovered is they're not easy to pick up and hold.
It's only when you start to do things like this you realise that the impact that you're having. You use a straw once, and every time you get a new drink, an extra straw comes out, and 9 times out of 10, when the drink arrives, you take the straw out and just drink it anywhere, and it's a waste of time. But, I think everybody's starting to think a little bit more clearly about this sort of thing, and it's having an impact, hopefully.
Anything that you throw down the quayside, or if people are sort of drinking outside and they throw it, that's going to blow into the river, and the river's going to flow into the sea. So just because the waste is in a city doesn't mean that the waste stays in the city. No one comes down to the beach and goes, I'll throw my rubbish on the beach. The waste comes either from boats or from other places, and the tides bring it in, or like I say, it comes down on rivers and ends up down this way. Plastic bottles float to the top, whereas straws would get stuck in between the seaweed, and obviously because they're small as well, they're more likely to be eaten by animals, especially the straws that go in the juice cartons and things, as opposed to the big straws. So yeah, they're a huge problem, because then they break down to smaller and smaller, and then they get digested by sea creatures.
You can see outside, we store the beach clean bins here. So we store a lot of the equipment that they use for beach cleans, and there's a lot of different groups do beach cleans, like the local schools and different community groups come and get this stuff from us, go and do the clean and then come back. And obviously just in general, looking outside, we like to try to keep the whole area, it's better for business if it looks nice and clean and tidy. So We first decided to swap from the plastic straws really in the whole area in general. There's been quite a few campaigns on social media and in the news and the newspaper and stuff. There's like Plastic Free Tynemouth and Plastic Free Whitley Bay, which are groups that have been set up. I think probably for a long time it's always been quite a big issue because of living near the coast. So I think in general everyone's just more aware of it down here really, and so we just decided that one of the biggest things we could do in here was to change from plastic straws to paper.
We decided to switch from regular straws to metal straws because the rest of our packaging is already compostable. So there's a big thing in the papers at the minute about the sea and keeping plastic and going plastic free. So we decided to cut. That was our last sort of thing that we had within the business that we weren't doing for the earth. So that was the last thing. Yeah. We've become part of the Whitley Bay Plastic Free Group. And we had our first meeting a couple of months ago and it was really, really well received, and we're trying to get lots of other businesses within Whitley Bay to make free changes to their way of serving foods, and so we can get Whitley Bay like plastic free status. So there's water going all the way through it. Let's give it a little. And then they go through the dishwasher. And then on an evening, when we finish work, them all in there. Just put a cup of milk in. Just sterilising fluid. And then we just soak them overnight, and then in the morning we will put them back for the dishwasher just to get any taste of Milton off, and that's it.
All the straws we've used in the past are still around. They don't just disappear. So if you think every straw you've ever used in your life is still in existence somewhere, they don't tend to be recycled. So we're going to have years of catching up, but it's never too late to stop. So if we stop using straws now, then that means it's going to make the problem better.
Everyone's concerned about the state of the planet, whether you're at my end of your life or at your end, you know, because the reality is, you know, I have a daughter, I have a granddaughter. I want them to live in a clean, healthy world, you know, and both the generation before me and our generation have got a lot to answer for. We've got to try and do what we can to push everything in the right direction, and every little bit helps.
She's going to be so happy. A big bugger.
Oh, careful. Nice.
No, ese es un poco ahora. Oh man! Show me, please. I want to. Oh my god! That is just freaking. Oh man!